You know, when you see a crime in Chicago, sadly, there is a numbing that happens because we see violence on such a regular basis. But you're talking about women who were thrown in the trash, who were found in abandoned buildings, like horrors that were just blips in the news, if at all. I was elected state's attorney in 2016. I am a rarity in that, you know, women of color as top prosecutors make up only 2% of the profession, if that.
At the time Kim Foxx assumes office as Cook County State's Attorney, 45 women have been found strangled in Chicago, and no one has been arrested.
I absolutely see myself in these women. And not simply because they're Black, but they come from communities like mine. I'm a born and raised Chicago girl. I lived in one of our most notorious housing projects of Cabrini Green back in the 70s and 80s. If you could have imagined that the first Black woman elected to Cook County State's Attorney would have come from Cabrini Green, the child of a teenage mom, no one would believe it. My mother was someone who battled mental health for most of her life. My mother, from a time when I was young, dealt in drugs. When I was 7 years old and walking home from school, I was picked up by two teenagers near my home and dragged into a home and sexually assaulted by both. As despite the fact that that was 40 years ago, there are still moments of PTSD. There are still moments when I can vividly remember the sights, the smells, the sounds of that. And it is because of that that the horrors of what has happened to these women in the moments before their death is very real to me. My story of survival is unique to me, but I think the fabric of what you see for so many people who are invested in these cases is that underlying theme related to sexual abuse, sexual trauma, particularly for poor women and particularly for Black women. And not having that trauma recognized, realized, or given voice to. And so I find it my obligation to do
that. It's 2017. State's Attorney Foxx is just beginning her first term when police finally get a break in one of the earliest strangulation cases.
Pretty much all they did